Good morning everyone. I'm here with the MMDA in Quezon City, specifically Project 6 and Project 8 areas. And they're dealing with illegally parked cars, whether they're parked in the road or if they're parked blocking the sidewalk. So if you look at this one behind me, you can see it is blocking the sidewalk. This red area is the sidewalk. This is quite common and people don't think much of it, but look at this kid here, this young child. He's having to walk in the road because of that obstruction. And what we often see is that people actually get hit by cars because they're avoiding obstacles on the sidewalk. So you might not think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. So let's go. And along here you can see other vehicles that are also blocking the sidewalk. Not sure if the drivers are here. If they're not here, they're going to get towed away. You can see another one here, quite a few actually that are parked blocking the sidewalk. If they move forward a bit, they might be able to avoid blocking it. As the MMDA and tow trucks came along here, they were sounding their horns, sounding the sirens, to try and give people who own these vehicles an opportunity to move them before they get towed. Over here you can see they're issuing a ticket. The driver is there, so he won't get towed away, but he will still get a ticket for it. But once he takes the ticket, he can just be on his way, as long as everything else is in order. Oh, you just heard that, expired license, so might have bigger problems than we first thought. Now you can see here they've stopped this motorbike rider, and you might wonder why. Well, that helmet wasn't on his head, it was on his elbow. And I've seen this so often, people who have a helmet but they don't wear it. Anyway, they stopped him and they've now found out that he only has a student license. So the motorbike is actually subject to impounding. So it's ridiculous. Like, if he was wearing his helmet, chances are he wouldn't have even been stopped. But because he decided to carry his helmet instead of wear it, he was stopped, and when they checked the license, that's when they found out it's just a student license. So yeah, I've never understood why they don't wear the helmet, but this is the kind of thing that happens. It looks like they're issuing another ticket over here, again for illegal parking. The driver's here, so he'll just get a ticket. You can see here there's another two riders that have been stopped for not having helmets. I've heard many excuses for why they don't have helmets. I remember one time there was this guy with the woman who got caught, and he was like, well, my girlfriend's pregnant and we won't be able to afford the penalty for not wearing helmets. And I was thinking, well, if she's pregnant, isn't that even more of a reason why you're going to put a helmet on her, to try and keep her safe? So sometimes I don't understand the excuses. Personally, I wouldn't want to ride a motorbike without a safety helmet. You can see here the tow truck has got a bus, although I have no idea where from or for what reason, so I'll have to follow up on that later and try and get some details. And over here is another motorbike they've stopped, I assume because you can see the passenger there doesn't have a helmet. Over here is another example, 3 passengers, none of them have helmets, and there's a young boy squeezed between them. I really hate seeing this because it is so dangerous. You'll see some people like this bike here, they'll see the MMDA, they've got no helmet, so they'll turn off down the side street to try and avoid them. I guess you really can't catch everyone. So you can see here the MMDA are dealing with 2 vehicles that were parked on the sidewalk. Since the drivers are here, they'll just get a ticket instead of being towed. Bad timing for this young boy here because he's riding along with no helmet. But will they actually manage to catch him before he rides off? Let's see. Yeah, there you go, they've managed to pull him over. We'll see if he actually has a license. Well, that was quick. The driver doesn't have a license, so the bike is being impounded now. In fairness to the guy, at least he didn't argue. He just said straight up, I don't have a license, take the bike. A lot of people want to fight and argue and come up with some reason why they shouldn't be penalized. Everyone else should be, but they shouldn't. But in fairness to this guy, hands up, yep, I don't have a license, sorry. Oops, look at this one. And he's not stopping. Okay, is he going to stop? Is he going to stop? Yep, there you go, he stopped. So again, you can see none of them have helmets and they have a young child on the bike. Very dangerous. Here's another one stopped with a young passenger on the back that doesn't have a helmet. Looks like there's one on the other side as well. And it looks like they've taken the bike off the one that didn't have a helmet. So let me find out why. So I don't know if you heard that, but driving with a student's driver's license. So that's why the bike's being impounded. In comes another one without a helmet. It's amazing how many people are willing to ride around without helmets. Here you can see they've stopped a lady who doesn't have any helmet on. And from what I know, or from what I just overheard, she actually doesn't have a license either. So most likely this motorbike or this motorcycle will be impounded. And the tow truck is now coming in to take this one away. No license, no bike, unfortunately. The lady's a little bit upset, she wants to ride away. She's crying now, and some people say, like, don't you have compassion for these people? And I do, but if you just let everyone off, nothing's going to change. We're going to have people killed every day because they don't know how to ride properly, because they swerve in front of vehicles. You know, it's just anarchy. And I do feel bad for them, but don't let everything go, because nothing's going to change that way. They have to do their job, and if that means taking the bike, take the bike. Another thing to consider, these are the kind of motorcycles that get in accidents, and when you hit them, you get blamed if you're driving a car. So even if it's their fault because they don't have a license, they don't know how to ride properly, it's still pretty much always the car that gets blamed. So yeah, you might feel bad for that woman, but how about the guy that hits her and then gets blamed for it? You should feel bad for him as well.